We talked in another video about the importance of your front stance transitions, three specifically being push, post, and pivot. Well, the best kata for that I found is Bow 1. It is a beginner form so that everyone that's learning that form at Purple Belt can develop these important strategies of getting into a front stance, but also for all the higher ranks that might miss some of these. So if we're talking to a green belt or a brown belt and we're trying to get them to learn a better post, for example, we go back to Bow 1 and practice that. If you're working on combat bow, you will see a whole bunch of these in there. And certainly if you're getting into Shushi at Advanced Brown, that posting is a big part of that form. I'll demonstrate some of those at the very end. In terms of Bow 1, I want you to really think about each one individually. So for the purple belts who are learning this, we're going to go through it step by step. If I look to the side after I bow, I'm going to bow, then I'm going to step out. This is that transitional stance. I prep my bow into position as my transitional front stance, which allows me to pivot from that side. I draw back to thrust. I draw back to cat stance, sinking down a little bit as I make my block. When I go to the other side, this hand comes in here, I step out, I punch to the other side. Again, this was my pivot. I thrust back, sink down a little bit and make my block. When I pivot to the front, I've gone from cat stance to cat stance. But now how do I get power from here? This leg has the power, I'm going forward. What's it called? Push. So I drive forward on the block. 1 block, 2 blocks, and 3. I'm going to step back. Well, how do I do that? This foot comes in, and then it slams back. That is my post. I block 1, I block 2, and I block 3. I need to do that a third time. I'm going to move forward a little bit so I have space. This leg is going to post, meaning that my weight stays forward, and this is my supporting leg. I come forward, driving in, push. Push for both hooks, come back. This foot steps out, pivot, thrust, cat stance. Slide, pivot, thrust, and there's my cat stance. I go down low, up high, and cross. If you're working on combat bow, a couple places to start. First thing you're going to do, you get to the strike that goes to the right side, right corner, and we're going to do the high block. When my feet come back, there's my post. Second position is right here. There's my pivot. Both of those are right there. As I slide up and I make my strike, that puts me in position as I sink down. My next one, I'm going to lift. As I go down, I'm allowing my body to drive in with my front stance. Now I'm going to make that pivot across. It's all about the hips. There's my strike from here. If I go to this side, again, that's a pivot. After I kick, I recover back. I'm going to turn sideways for the camera. Watch that right leg. Post. Watch it again. Post. It goes back. So once I land in that front stance, then I finish up with my 3 strikes. So it's done this way. 1, 2, 3. Across, followed by a pivot again. And then I come back and I come up. So if you are working on those katas, look at all the places where that exists. Final one would be Shushi. We have our strikes here. We draw back. That is the post. Make sure you can see the difference between them and really work on understanding them. If you're not getting that, send me a video. I will send something back explaining it in more detail.